Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Four Dads Podcast. We do somewhat apologize for the break that we've had, but there is good reason. Don Julio had his second daughter. Congratulations to him, and he is surviving. He is doing well. He's got a second good sleeper, so we're really happy for him. Like genuinely, because I mean that's the biggest thing. I know my wife and I were kind of like, well, let's see how the second child is. If they're a good sleeper, it might make it easier for a third, but if not, we might just have to flip a coin. We will
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
So how's it been? How's the dad life been?
It's great, man. I mean, this this time around was so easy. Like we came in, I mean, we got admitted, which, for those of you dads out there that know, like preeclampsia is a very serious thing.
Mhm.
And when your wife has high blood pressure, it's monitored, closer than the IRA is watching what you're spending your dollars on. Like,
Hard to believe, but yeah, true.
yeah.
True. Yeah.
And so we got admitted. My wife was an absolute champ. I mean, she was keeping cool. I was making jokes with the security guard stating like, dude, I should have became a doctor because the way that some of these doctors are pushing drugs, I think it's worse than what's on the streets. And and the guys are like, yeah, for real. I'm like, dude, the way that they're trying to push, magnesium on my wife, even though she's not spiking, there's nothing. They're trying to sell it as like, oh yeah, it's a preventative. It's a preventative. You're going to be fine. Um, we just want to we just want to try and prevent strokes and seizures, and I'm thinking what would cause that, anyways. So my wife held out until like till literally maybe 5 minutes before the baby was born to then just do the mag. um our daughter came out on a practice push, just pop, done, 1 2 3, there she is. um
That
it was
quick? Like it was like
Dude,
you want to start pushing, and then boom, she was here.
literally the doctor or the midwife was like, okay, she's like, let's do a practice push, and it was like 1 2 3, there she is.
Holy crap! I'm not ready.
Yep, she just came right on out. um she was she was 7 pounds,
Was
seven
it
pounds
11?
yeah, 7 pounds,
Yeah,
11 ounces, 21 inches, so she was
a little
pretty tall.
tall. Yeah.
Yeah, but this girl can eat. This girl can eat.
And
She's
mom's doing well, right? She's
mom's
doing really
doing
well.
mom's doing really well. I think, again, like, I for those of you guys who, dads and moms who are going to be experiencing two, are going to embarking on having two children, like, it is so important to kind of start teaching your little one how to share, and also what it is to, like, welcome someone else into the family. Because my daughter, she's the sweetest kid. I mean, for her age, she's just a social butterfly. Says hello to everyone at every store that walks by, gives them a big smile, asks how you're doing. And with her sister, it's like, that's my dad. Get off, you know. And she has her playful moments, but I mean, overall though, it's great, man. I love it. Um, it will be an adjustment
Oh yeah.
from a marriage standpoint. Like, I mean, obviously we both love our wives, unconditionally, but it's like, you got to make sure to stay on top of that. The little
Yeah, I'm
things
sure. I'm
right
sure.
now
Yeah.
really will matter, because it's like me trying to balance work, my business, right? It is a lot.
Hmm.
And a lot of the time, um, like I said, my wife has just been an absolute beast. She's like, hey, go do what you need to go do. I got it. I have, like, right here on the side, I have Adelina's little entertainment system. So when mom needs to go take a break, go sleep, it's like Miss Rachel comes on. We just started to discover Blippi now, so
Oh boy.
she's starting to love she loves the animal stuff. Like, that's the piece
That's
where
your
she's,
go-to.
yeah, she'll sit there and
Yeah.
she'll be like, stingray, fish, Nemo, like, elephant, giraffe, lion. Like, she wants to do all the names of all the animals. And if she doesn't know it, she's now figured out that the space bar on my laptop pauses it, and then she'll be like, what's that? What's that?
No way.
I swear.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That
dude.
is awesome. Well, I'm glad everyone's good. I'm glad mom's good. I'm glad baby's good. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of one of the big reasons that we went on a little break here. I wanted to give him some time for that, and he said he's ready to start back up on the podcast. So here we are, and
Yeah.
there has been a decent amount of golf been played since our last podcast. I think the last one we
Hmm.
did was, I think,
The
after the
Olympics.
Olympics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have had a few tournaments go by, and I mean, I remember when I had my son, it was right, I think like a month before um the Masters. And so, I had my paternity leave and got to watch all the Masters, and he was up early in the morning, so I watched every single shot of that Masters. So, definitely probably a lot of relaxing and baby laying on you, feeding the baby, burping and all that stuff. So he's been able to watch golf during this time. So it's awesome. So I know one of the tournaments that I definitely want to talk about. I believe it was the Wyndham Championship, which played a few weeks ago. And the biggest reason I want to talk about this was because Aaron Rai got his first tournament win on the PGA Tour. Oops, sorry, my little thing, my little whatchamacallit, uh,
Camera. Or,
no, light kind of
yeah.
flew. I almost fell. And so Aaron Rai won his first PGA tournament. I think he's had a few wins overseas, but none on the PGA Tour. And this is one of those guys that I definitely respected a lot, um, because he was pretty humble about where he came from. He plays double gloves, like one on the right hand and one on the left, and it's usually a black gloves. And like that is very rare. If anything, people play without gloves. Both gloves, not in the rain, was very, very rare, not really common. But on top of that, he was getting criticized and got questioned a lot in the beginning, a few years ago at least, about head covers. And he would always put head covers on his irons. And I know that's the running joke, on for any golfer that like you do not put iron head covers on, like you're a loser if you do that. Like, what are you doing? You look like an idiot. But his reasoning for it was completely valid. Said his parents didn't have too much money growing up, which I mean, when no matter if you're a middle class, it's pretty expensive. So like golf is expensive right there. So you don't have to be like poor to just not have too much money when it comes to golf because it's such an expensive sport. But he said his dad always forked up whatever he could to buy him a new set of clubs, and when he did, he used the iron covers to keep those things as clean as possible so he can use them as long as possible because again, golf is super expensive. And his dad, after every round, would clean every single club and make sure that everything's all good to go. And he just uh kept that routine throughout this. And honestly, with the amount of, I mean, with him, I think he's sponsored by Titleist now, so honestly, that doesn't matter for him to do that. But just for him to constantly still do that as more of a prideful, humble beginnings. I definitely, definitely was always in his corner, but he didn't really have too many opportunities to, get a win. But he did, man. I was happy for him. Did you catch any of that Wyndham Championship a few weeks ago?
I didn't, but I think you just touched on a really good point, talking about how, humble beginnings. His dad had to work his butt off to give him every opportunity to go chase his dream. And I've been watching just movies instead of playing PlayStation or doing whatever, right? I've been trying to just educate myself. So I watched this movie called The Long Game.
Saw it last week. Yep, good
Dude,
movie.
such a good movie. Um, definitely one that I think was a sleeper.
I didn't even
That
hear about it. And Dennis
I
Quaid, never even heard
e-
about it. And Dennis Quaid
exactly.
and whoever the other main character was, I'm blanking on his name, but he's in a lot of
Yeah,
stuff
he
too.
was in a lot of movies too, and then they even had Cheech in there too for
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know what? Like even though the majority of his fame has come from being a stoner, like he plays some good roles. I mean, he was in that movie with the kids from Monterrey, Mexico, where
Oh, with
they go
baseball, with the Little League World Series.
yeah, they go to Little League World Series.
Hmm.
He was the pastor in that one. Obviously Tin Cup, he was in there. I
Yep.
mean, he
Hmm.
plays a lot of really good parts in those movies. But going back to what we just spoke about, is like, dude, these kids were caddies at Rio Del Rio Country Club in Texas,
Yeah.
and um, they were constantly just looked down upon,
Oh yeah.
being because they were Latinos, or well,
Hmm.
that they were Mexicans.
Yeah.
And there was one kid who was an absolute stud just because he was the best caddy. He got the chance to play a little bit more. But there was a very significant part where um, the greenskeeper, Cheech, he takes him into his shed and he has the nicest clubs set up for him,
Hmm.
bags, golf shoes, and they're all like, whoa, like what the heck? And I mean, those kids took care of everything. I mean, from
Hmm.
even when they were playing in tournaments, you would see one kid like follow up and pick up all the divots, clean the bunkers,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
even the part where the dad tried to burn his clubs because he got into the
Oh
final
yeah.
round,
Hmm.
right? I
Hmm.
mean, just just really appreciating what you have, and and to have something like that just as a reminder as far as like what you came from.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. I mean, and
Oh
again,
yeah.
like you said, we always make fun of people who have head covers, but you know, um, for something like that, it definitely makes sense.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like you mentioned too, I feel like the more money you have, it's easy to forget, about like your humble beginnings. No matter where you're from, like money changes people, like they
Hmm.
always say. That's like one of the most common sayings around about money. And it's be so easy just to be like, okay, well, you know what? I made it. There's no reason I'm not paying for these clubs. There's no reason to, put head covers on. I'm going to get laughed at, looked at weird. It's so easy just to do what they did in the long game where, hey, just try to fit in, just try to fit in, act like you've been here, act like you're supposed to be here. But
Hmm.
yeah, so ever since I heard that, I was like, okay, well, that's like if I ever saw someone on the course and they were like, oh, well, they gave me some kind of rundown like that, I'd be like, okay, well, that's legit reason. I'm not gonna make fun of you for that. But if you were a billionaire and you just did it because you don't know about golf, well, then yeah, I'm definitely going to give you a hard time for sure. But yeah, so he got his win, which I was stoked about because I was kind of pulling for him a few weeks ago when I saw him up on the leaderboard. But said sounded like last weekend of the FedEx St. Jude Championship, you seem to watch almost every shot.
Yeah, yeah. I watched quite a bit. It was a good turn. It was a very good tournament. It was one of the first tournaments I've ever seen Scotty actually get upset. I mean,
Mm.
he pounded at the bunker. Um, he kicked some sand around. I mean, really got pissed off. Um, I didn't quite. I had to step away right when it had happened. I saw the shot, but I think the commentators were saying that there was like a disagreement between him and his caddy as far as which shot he wanted to hit out of there. His caddy told him to go with
Mm.
something a little bit more, and the lie just didn't look good. I mean, it was slightly above his feet. He was kind of in a weird position. He had a high wall he had to get over, and like he flushed it, but it just took off instead of it
Mhm,
just being
mhm.
like a nice little flop,
Yeah.
come on down the slope, trickle down the hills, and he went over the green. And yeah, first thing he did was just like wham, just slammed his club down. Um, and then just kind of said some colorful words, and um, that was kind of it. And then he got up and down, and I think he walked away with a bogey, but
Walked away with an eagle. Oh, what a
yeah,
bummer. Poor
yeah,
dude.
yeah. But man, I mean, he moved up some spots pretty quickly in those since after that had happened. I mean, for him to be in fifth place for kind of how he started on Thursday, obviously what had happened on Friday, he made some moves on Saturday. Saw that Schauffele was right there, number two.
Mhm.
The one thing that I was sitting there watching with my dad, and the one thing that we both could not believe was the shot that Matsuyama hit on 14.
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
it's the last par three, of the 18, and the wind was coming across pretty aggressively. It was kind of swirling a little bit,
Yeah.
but his caddy told him to hit a cut middle of the green. Dude, the ball, like the minute he hit it, the ball just took off, goes right, it finds the water, and he's like, they're at like everyone's like, what? But he made a really good shot. Come, he made a really good shot to recover to walk away with a bogey, um, which I thought, okay, like blood's in the water. Scheffler's going to make some moves. Schauffele's going to make some moves. Nothing. Like nothing happened, and then he just wins 17 under, and he wins it. I was like, what? Like, no,
I mean,
you got away with one.
yeah, it's rare that happens. It's really easy to lose your cool in those situations. But when it comes to, well, with Hideki, was it last week that they lost their passports and like Hideki's like caddy wasn't available for him at least on the Thursday to start tournament, or was it this week? Because I remember hearing about that, and I'm starting to get my weeks mixed up. But did you hear about that?
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't hear about that. No.
Okay, let me see.
When did that happen?
Literally like a week or two ago.
Oh wow.
Let me see here. I'm gonna look that up right now. Let me just type in Matsuyama passport and see what we got here. Matsuyama's okay. So 8 days ago, Matsuyama's caddy returns home to Japan after passport stolen after the Olympics. So Hideki Matsuyama starting the PGA Tour's lucrative postseason without his caddy and coach after they were victims of a robbery during a stopover in London from the Paris Olympics. The magazine said Matsuyama had his wallet stolen, but not the Olympic bronze medal or his passport. His caddy, Shota Hayato, and coach Makihito Kuriyama, I'm just not even going to say it. We're not so fortunate. Golf Digest Japan said their passports and visas were stolen. They had to return to Japan and we're working on getting new documents expedited to return to the United States. So that is insane. And he said, Matsuyama told the magazine that there was a chance they could make it to Atlanta, but we have to go in thinking as close to zero. So I don't know if his caddy was there, but I mean, one, he won a tournament without the caddy if he wasn't there. Two, if he did win there with the caddy, that makes sense. But if he didn't, it kind of would make a little bit more sense why a caddy would throw him hey, let's hit a cut into this wind here, huh? Let's just see what happens. Come on. I'm never gonna be a caddy again.
Dude, that's a crazy story. I didn't hear anything about that.
No.
People were saying that like for a lot of the U.S. athletes were saying that when they were walking places, they did have security around them pretty heavily, which kind of sucks. I mean, I've never been to Paris, but that's one thing that I have heard from a lot of people is like Paris has a lot of thieves. There's a lot of people who are trying to pickpocket, and stuff over there. That's kind of crazy. I kind of going. You mentioned something about the bronze medal, but I just heard this. I think this week I just had heard this that when a U.S. athlete wins a gold medal, they're only paid like 37 and a half or $37,500 for winning a gold medal. Where in like some other countries, it's like millions of dollars that you get.
Oh no way!
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Dang.
Yeah, I know it's like already a few weeks past, but think about that. You trained 4 years to win a gold medal, and the other thing is too, a lot of athletes are complaining because it's just like a metal, or it's just a gold coating. It's not even like.
It's not legit anymore?
No. So
apparently
they stopped that a long time ago, but it's just a metal coating and like it's just a gold coating, and a lot of athletes from like their sweat, from wearing around celebrating, it started to come off.
Oh,
and
dang.
it was just the hunk of metal that they had.
Jeez, dude, that's ridiculous. I mean, you can kind of think of it as like for the United States, we have over 330 million people in our country. Okay, well, if you don't want to, go for a gold medal, that's fine. There's someone else that will, like we have so many people that are very capable compared to like Estonia, west of Russia, where there's maybe like 500,000 people there. All right, if you win you get a key to the city and
Yeah.
500K, or something insane and like set for life because like we need to put ourselves on the map. Like for USA, there's so many people where it's like next man up.
Hmm.
Cool. You don't want to do it? Okay, cool. We got somebody else, and I know we haven't been as big in like men's swimming, but it's like the Michael Phelps when he was done. I remember there was another dude, I'm blanking on his name, but he was, leading it for a while, and it's kind of like the
Oh yeah.
turnover from I forget the guy's name.
Driscoll or something like that.
Was it? I'm not sure. I'm blanking on his name.
Caleb Driscoll, I think his name was.
Something, but like
Yeah.
the turnover for gold, like the medal count. I think we won the medal count overall by like
Hmm.
40 medals or something.
Hmm.
Like I know we tied with the amount of golds, but
With China.
overall,
Yeah.
like yeah, like it was insane. Where it's like, well, I mean, we do kind of have 330 million people, and Russia didn't even compete because I think they were kicked out.
Hmm.
So, and
Well,
that's like,
Russia competed, but they couldn't flaunt
oh,
their flag.
gotcha, right, we're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's interesting. It kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, come on, dude. Biden inflation. Give us at least 50K. Come on. And then,
I,
yeah.
yeah. I was just gonna say, I just thought that was a wild statistic. I mean, to come back, you're only given 37,500 for every gold medal you win, but it's also kind of like I think Simone Biles came out and said something where it's like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but more than half of these athletes are making some serious change on
Mm-hmm.
sponsors, right?
True.
And they're already sponsored to be there.
Right.
Um, and that was the other thing too that they were talking about was the living quarters were like apparently
Garbage.
terrible to where even the basketball team said,
Oof.
"Screw this, we're packing up. We're going over here to the super bougie, hotel." Like they went right there, and everyone was like, "Well, you're supposed to stay in the like, nope, we're out. Screw this, we're not sleeping here." Like
Mm-hmm. I
and
think
I
they're made
guess
of like cardboard or something stupid, dude. Like legitimately. Not even
yeah,
kidding.
their mattress was like an infant mattress. It was just firm,
Dude.
small. Some people didn't even have pillows,
I mean,
and then the
think of
beds were
LeBron
stacked.
James on there.
Oh,
LeBron
dude,
James, dude,
feet
6'8",
hanging
like
over.
6'9". Oh my gosh. Like no,
Yeah.
it's like his knees are hanging over those things, dude.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Like it's stupid. But
Yeah, they said that the
uh
best living quarters was for the surfers. The surfers got to go on like their own private cruise ship that was because they were so far out. They had to go surf those typhoons, and so they were
dang, I
yeah.
didn't
So
see
they
that.
yeah that was the only thing they were saying. Just because of how far they needed to compete was they gave them a cruise ship. They all went out there. They had this gourmet, you know, um, um, they had gourmet meals like this beautiful setting every morning where they're right there on the water. I think the people that I felt the worst for was the triathlon people having to swim in that water.
Mm,
Everyone
no,
got
thank
sick.
you.
People were like they got out and were throwing up. People down with some serious sickness, dude. Some swimmers even
Dang.
reported they saw duties just floating in the water.
I didn't sign up for.
Yeah, I gotta breathe.
Are you hungry?
That's
No, I had a turd on the way out. I'm good.
no, I had a I had a chocolate turtle.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right,
Yeah,
reeling us back in here. This weekend, we do got the BMW Championship. We're actually playing in Colorado. I don't believe when's the last time there was a tournament in Colorado, like for the PGA Tour. It's been a while. Like,
I honestly haven't been paying much attention.
well, I mean, over the last few years, I definitely do not recall a tournament in Colorado. Like
What course are they playing? Does it say?
Castle Pines Golf Club.
Mm,
Like literally the picture that I see of this, and let me just see if it's different for every course. Okay, it is different. So the picture that I see, it literally kind of looks like the island green from the 12th hole at Pebble Beach. Like it looks like very, very pretty right off the coast of somewhere, or obviously not a coast, more like a lake or something like that. But
mm,
Castle Pines Golf Club, and it starts today if you're watching the podcast. But I mean, Schauffele, he's had a heck of a year so far. He has changed himself from Bono, I'm number two, to actually winning some like big tournaments.
yeah.
So, I mean, I think this is the the second tournament, right? And then next weekend after this weekend is the Tour Championship. So this, I think, cut goes down from what, like 72 to next weekend to like 35 or something like that, or
Yeah, I think
30.
so. I think so.
Man, it's always cool when they do that, but at the same time, I don't like how there's only 30 golfers and like there's less to watch because it's not like all day.
Yeah.
But who you picking? Who you picking? You got anyone for this week? Who do you got?
For this week, I'm gonna go with the safe bet and say Scheffler.
Scheffler. Do you think he got his frustration out in the bunkers last week that
Yeah,
he's ready to
I'm
roll?
not I'm not expecting him to come out on Thursday and Friday and fire like, you know, career low rounds. I think he'll be in contention, and then all of a sudden, Sunday he's gonna, or Saturday he's gonna start making some moves, and then Sunday he's just gonna step on everybody's throat. I don't know. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
he's been doing that consistently for the last like year and a half.
yeah, I mean I'm just gonna go with the safe one. I think my close second's probably. Um, I think my close second's probably gonna have to be Schauffele,
Yeah,
and my third for the underdog. Feeling like a Max Homa surprise.
that'd be cool. I can see that. I can see that. I haven't really been paying attention to see how Homa's been playing.
He hasn't even
But
been relevant like
yeah,
recently, but I feel like it's
that's golf,
him.
baby.
Well, I feel like it's him adjusting to being a dad too, right? He's kind of
Mm-hmm.
going through he's going through the transition of having I think his kid's almost one, maybe a little bit older,
Yeah,
maybe younger. I'm not sure, but I know he has like from from some of his appearances on YouTube, he's mentioned like, yeah, I'm really just trying to focus on being with the family and doing this. But I feel like for him, altitude, the way he hits the ball, he might shock some people this weekend.
ball go far. Ball go
Yeah,
far.
ball go far.
Mm.
Greens ball or green
That's
ball
a good
sits
point.
nice on greens.
That's a
Like,
good point.
dude, I mean, from the two courses I played in Colorado, which were um, Denver Golf Club and
Mhm.
Arrowhead. I mean, dude, golf is different up there. I mean, it really does go very far. But
Mhm.
those greens are taken such well care of that. I mean, you could hit a shot and that ball is going to sit backside of the green and just come right back to you.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, that's
you
a good
know,
point. That's a good point with the elevation. Like, I will say this when I'm not sure if I mentioned it when I came back from the tournament, the church tournament that I had, the golf getaway. But
yeah,
the CEO and founder of Avoda Golf, Tom Bailey, he had a foursome, and apparently he had like this little notebook, and everyone's like, what's this notebook? And he was like, he had everything broken down, like how far he needs to putt it, kind of like Bryson DeChambeau, where he's like, I know how far I need to hit it 50 feet. And if I hit it 50 feet and it only goes 46 feet, well, then I know the greens are playing X amount slower, and this is how much percentage I need to hit the ball compared to this X, Y, and Z, which is insane because you have to hit so many balls in order to gain that consistency and then just to even get on that level. But anyway, he had a chart where he was saying that playing in the Central Valley in like 100 degrees is like playing 5,200, like a mile up in like Colorado, based off of the air, based off of the looseness of and things like that. Compared to when we played in or on the coast in a Rio Grande, um, it was like 62, 63 degrees. It's like you're basically playing about like 20 feet above sea level on like, and that's how far your ball's going. He had like this whole like little breakdown of like how like the weather temperature, what that does to your ball and everything like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if these pros were checking all that stuff out, because I think he tried to go pro, or he was at some point, but not like PGA Tour level or anything like that. But the little mini tours down the way. But with that being said, I want to take my guess really quick on who I'll take this week at not St. Jude, that was last week, the BMW. And then I got something else to share with you about a Voda that I heard, which is kind of crazy. So, wild card here. Victor Hovland was second last week. So I'm gonna throw him in the loop. Like he has been so like Victor, who you have not heard his name, top 10, top 20. He has just fallen off the map. I don't know what the heck has happened. Kind of like the whole Jordan Spieth, who's actually getting wrist surgery. I heard he'll be out for a few months, and Justin Thomas, but he came up to second. So I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. I've always liked Victor. Kind of bummed that he's not rocking those Nike Tour Roche G Tours anymore. But switched to Puma for whatever reason. But that dude, he can smash it, and when he is on, dude, he can hit the ball a long, long way. But yeah, I mean, it'd be. I mean, if he wins this tournament, it'd be awesome. Again, I would love to see Zalatoris. I feel like he has been again out of it since like that runner-up for the U.S. Open a few years ago.
He looked really good this weekend. I mean,
Really?
few little mistakes, but he looked really good. I mean, he was moving around well.
Yeah,
He was
that's
getting
well.
through the ball. He was getting through the ball really well.
Yeah.
It's still just the putter. I mean, he had a few
Oh,
chances to
dude.
make. He had a few
Mm.
chances to make some good moves and
Yeah.
just right on the edge.
Dude, his putter has been like, and it's obvious. Like you can see just zooming in on him and watching those hands, dude. It's like
Yeah.
he turns into like a 25 handicapper sometimes over that putter. Sometimes, not every time. He does hit some good putts, but sometimes when like they're too much of like that gimme route where it's like, oh, I
Mhm.
should make this. It's like he really gets in his head,
He
and
does.
it is not fun to see when you're rooting for someone like that. But I do want to mention this. I just found out from Brandon with a Voda. So he's in my fantasy football league. This Friday, we're doing our draft, and I was trying to have it in person the last 2 years. We had an in-person draft. Everyone's been here. I think they're funner. Plus, a lot more of a chance for people not to pay attention of who's getting taken off the board and other people to drop, and you can easily pick up somebody like that. But a lot of other people are going to be out of town this year. So, and that's including Brandon, who's flying out to Chicago to create and work with Swag Golf to
Oh
make
no
some
way.
irons. So make some irons or wedges, one of the two. They're going to be doing a collaboration. And he's like, sorry, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make the draft. I just got told, because he said he's gonna be working with Avoda full time, making a
Mhm.
bit more money where he is right now, and he's gonna be more of like a rep, flying out around and all around the country. And he was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm going out to Chicago to work with Swag." And I was like, "No, the Swag," because he's a big Swag
Yeah,
golf
I am
fan.
too.
No, I
I
know
am
you
too.
are. Obviously, you are. I know that. I'm not saying that you're not. But like just like you. I mean, he'll buy the head covers, and he's like, you don't want to know how much money I spent on these head covers, man. You know. And
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, that is so sick. So there's a little news there that you probably haven't heard anywhere else, and probably won't. And not many people are going to hear it on here because they don't watch us. But that's their problem, not ours.
That still is crazy, dude. Like,
Right?
oh man, I don't know. I mean, I've kind of dialed it back on buying some of the swag stuff just because now they're kind of just doing like a limited drop now, and then you still can catch some of the good stuff like on
Turning into
there.
like Supreme, where it's just like, dude, just like don't make it
Ye-
so exclusive, dude. Just
Well, I like the exclusivity of it, but I mean, to buy it directly from them really isn't much of a flex of what it used to be anymore because now
mm,
you have all these communities where
yeah,
guys aren't trying to screw other dudes anymore. A lot of people are looking for trades. Most people
yeah,
are looking to actually like say, "Hey, dude, like, okay, well, what do you want to pay for it? Like, let me just
hmm
pay retail." They're like, "Sure, no problem. All right, here you go," because because they got so much cool stuff, right? I
yeah,
mean, I met this guy. His name's also Brandon. He's based in Missouri. Kind of a coincidence that I'm wearing this hat. My dad went and played um, Branson Hills in Missouri and got me this hat. But um, yeah, this guy literally was like, dude, we connected on Facebook. He's like, hey man, if there's anything you ever need, like just let me know. That was where I got like the Lincoln burning cash or whatever, burning dollars. That's where I got the whole Ryder Cup set up, right?
mm,
Everything that
mm,
was
mm.
there. I got all of those from him. And dude, I mean, he sold them to me under cost. But then there was a few times where, yeah, I got some stuff that was like, all right, this I'm just gonna get it. Like, I don't care,
Yeah.
you know. But it was, I mean, it was good though, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's good stuff. But that is super cool to hear. That is super cool to hear that they're gonna do some collaborations. I know Swag did. They are now the official, like, head cover slash golf apparel or golf accessory provider for the MLB now. So they do. So they have like ball markers with the Giants, the Indians, the
Okay.
Yankees, and then they have head covers that are like city head covers. So,
Mm,
so they really customize them based off of like what the city's known for.
gotcha.
Not too excited about San Francisco because it's probably going to be very rainbowed, but
Had a
yeah,
bunch of poop everywhere on the ground and everywhere.
not even that, dude. Probably just be rainbows and fairies all over
Oh,
it.
all right. I think that's all we got to talk about for this podcast. Is there anything else you
Yeah.
want to talk about? I
Well,
mean,
this will be our last and final episode.
last.
No, but no, dude. I mean, they have some pretty cool stuff. Like
Yeah.
the ones that they did for Chicago. I mean, even
Mm,
for the Bears, for Wrigley Field, were pretty sick. Like,
yeah.
if I was a diehard, Wrigley guy or Cubs guy or Bears, eh, I'd probably spend the money on it. But
Yeah.
being that I'm not, no, thank you.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
hear you. But yeah, I mean, was there anything else you wanted to touch on though for this
Uh,
podcast? I
t-
mean,
2 weeks from now, um, 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna try and come down to the Fresno house. So
oh,
I'll confirm with you probably on Sunday, and
okay.
then uh, let's see if we can find a tea time and get around in.
Let's do it, dude. Let's do it.
Yeah, and let's see if we can get Brandon too. It'd be nice to meet Brandon.
I would love that. I would love that. We'll see with the schedule, especially with these. Like, I've been so busy, and I'm like, well, that's good, but it kind of sucks.
I haven't
You know?
touched, dude. I haven't touched my club since my club championship, which I ended up having to pull out of the tournament the final day because we got admitted on Friday.
Dang, dude. I've only been to the range once since College Football 25 came out.
Yeah,
Yeah. It'll be a very entertaining video. I'll say that.
yeah.
In a little while, but yeah, if you can get out there, that'd be sick, dude. Good weather. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, we'll set something up. We'll talk offline, but I think that'll do it for this podcast. I mean, it's been nice talking to you. I'm glad everything's going well. Healthy baby, healthy mom. You're doing well, and we'll see you guys hopefully next week, pending baby, and if
No,
she allows her dad to do another podcast.
yeah. Well, stay fly, go low, have yourselves a good one.